Victoria, you have Oklahoma coming up on Thursday. How much are you looking forward to this challenge?
I'm excited. I think it's going to be good to compete against them. We're ready.
You've been practicing techni- technically for about a month now. Uh, what's impressed you about the practices so far?
We're a competitive team. Like we're very tough. We play together, so we've built a lot of chemistry this year, and so I'm excited for it to translate over to games.
When you have going to Oklahoma play D1 programs kind of at the beginning of the season, just kind of how much can you take experience from that as you kind of prepare for the regular season?
So it's going to be good to be able to play against a D1 team. Like I said, we're competitive, so I mean we're just as aggressive as them, and I feel like we can go up there and compete just as good as them. And yeah, we're ready for it.
How excited are you to finally get to see
Super excited. It's the last season, so got a lot to play for, and I'm excited to have my team along with me.
Vince, got anything?
Sure. So like I know it's been, you guys have talked about, playing Oklahoma. I think it's a good challenge for you. What kind of challenges does this bring your team? I know you kind of hit on it a little bit, right? You play a D1 program. It's not like your conference. You're not playing them every week, like what conference play. But what will this kind of game, help your team recognize maybe some weaknesses or strengths that you guys might have when you guys are only playing against yourselves, right? You can kind of see what you guys are like against other teams.
I think it'll be a good test for us to see, like, well, to be able to show everybody that we can hang in there and be just as aggressive as them. Coach always says the most aggressive team wins. So it'll be good to, like, be able to show that and give us that boost of confidence going into season, playing against, like, the teams in our conference. Because, like I said, we're just as good as them. So to be able to hang in there and show that aggression will be great.
One last thing for me is I know when I talked to Coach at MIAA Media Day, he talked about last year was kind of unfamiliar territory for you guys. You guys were 15 and 14, still obviously above 500, not where you guys have normally been the last several years. So do you see it that way? And what is it about this team specifically that gets you guys back to that 20 win mark?
Yeah, so last year was kind of unexpected for us. None of us really expected season to go that way. I think the huge difference this year is like I said earlier, like we play together, like we've built better chemistry this year, so I think it'll show and translate in games for us.
That's all I have.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks.
Dave.
Thank you.
Well, Faith, you come to Emporia State and you know you're going to play good competition. Boy, you guys opened up with a really good basketball team in Oklahoma. I know you've scrimmaged some other good basketball teams, but from this one, what is it you hope you guys can take away from this scrimmage, from this exhibition?
Yeah, I mean that's why you want to play college basketball, like play the big dogs and like see how you compare. And I think it'll be really good to see what works against them, because then that'll really work in the conference, and what doesn't work quite so well that we can kind of fix and monitor that in practice.
So overall, through practices, what has you excited about this team?
Oh man, we're fast. We're really fast and aggressive, and I think once we like finally reach our full potential, then like we're gonna be a team that people need to watch.
For you, being one of the newcomers to the team, like what was that transition period like, and how have you kind of, I guess, integrated with the team that's been here already?
Yeah, me and Katie, who transferred in, and then the freshmen, obviously getting acclimated to the environment here at Emporia State. And we love it. I personally love it. This is what I thought college basketball would be about, and it's a family here, and we're still playing great competition in the MIAA and just really getting to it every day in practice, and we're excited to show the nation really what we can do.
Having been, practicing for a while now, are you excited to kind of get this season underway?
Yes, as much fun as practice is, games are a lot more fun, and so it'll be good to finally show people what we can do and compete against teams.
Vince.
And now I just asked, I think her name was Victoria. I'm new, so I know I'm learning all you guys' names as well. So, Coach was talking about MIAA Media Day that it was unfamiliar territory for them last year, but this is a winning program. Is this kind of why you wanted to come to Emporia State, like you said, to come, to play the big dogs and come to a winning program like Emporia State?
Yeah, absolutely. I came here to make an impact, and I wanted to be a part of a winning program and hopefully a national championship team, and that's what we're striving for, and that's what we work for every day in practice. So, again, just excited to get games started and compete against other teams.
What have you liked about Coach Wynn's philosophy? I know he's a winning coach. We know him. He has a good track record of that. What have you liked about his coaching style and what he brings to practice every day?
Yeah, I love the intensity he brings to practice every day, and how he doesn't shy away from us taking shots. He wants us taking a lot of shots. He wants us playing fast. He wants us shooting the three. He wants us pushing it hard in transition, and I love just like playing fast like that. And like I'm not ever afraid to like take a shot or mess up like that, because I know like he's just like, okay, next play, like make the next one or take the next shot.
And one last thing I asked Victoria this too, you know, when you play against yourselves in scrimmages, of course, you know, you definitely know your team's tendencies. But when you play against a team like Oklahoma and others, when you play against others, you can kind of see what your strengths and weaknesses are. Are you really looking forward to seeing that, you know, what your team can really do against a big dog, and obviously moving forward for the rest of the year?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like I kind of said that earlier, how like we can see what works against them, and what does work will really work when we get into like conference play and play teams like our size. And what doesn't work, we can kind of modify that and just kind of see what works for us the best and what rotations work. And so, yeah, we're really excited to get the season going.
That's all I got. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Oklahoma coming up on Thursday night. Team finish third in the Big 12 and also high up in the net. I know one of the things you want to do is get your team tested before you get into the run of the season, which is going to be a test in its own right. What is it you want your ball club to gain and take away from this exhibition?
You know, it's a great opportunity for one. So we're very appreciative to Jenny and University of Oklahoma for giving us this opportunity to go have this experience. And then I think for our players, it's, you know, they all want to have that opportunity where they get a chance to go in there and kind of show what they can do against some of the best people and be put in that environment. And, you know, historically, Emporia State's done pretty well in those situations over the years. And, you know, we've been fortunate to be in part of those since I've been here too as well. And so I think my players just want to go and show, you know, they're a basketball player. We practice, we compete, we do all the same things they do. You know, we want to go see if we can do it against them.
What have you liked about this team through the early practices?
Just the vibe and the chemistry around this group is different. It's better. It's you can tell they have more camaraderie amongst one another. They really relate to each other very well. They do things off the floor together, which usually translates to having a good chemistry and a good team environment. I mean, going to practice today every day has been very fun with this group, and you know, so far. You know, I can't say that anything's been negative in any way whatsoever. It's all been really positive and fun to be a part of.
Coach, I believe you went to Notre Dame last year, so you're going to do this kind of every year when you can. So, you know, talk about the experience for the players, but what are you kind of looking for, you know, going into these big environments? What are you kind of looking for out of your players in a game like this?
Yeah, I want to see number one. I want to see if my players compete. You know, I want to see us compete against the upper level teams. You know, a lot of times they can expose some things, you know, that you may not have been able to see so much in practice, because it's hard to simulate some of the things they do, and we aren't going to have the personnel to be able to do that. So just being exposed on some of our weaknesses and things that we can like focus in on, be like, oh man, we got to really work on this and get better at that, because that's going to be an area that other teams will try to exploit or, you know, really try to take advantage of us at. So I think from that perspective, defensively, you know, we have to make sure we do that. Then on the offensive end, you want to just see, like, if we can execute some things, you know, clean against these guys and this caliber of talent and this level of players, then we feel like the things that we're doing offensively will translate to, you know, to the next level or to our level as well. And so just the execution part of it, and then just being able to on the defensive end, just see some things that we really got to work on. Yeah, it's been a really good class. You know, we recruited Faith and Katie really hard out of high school and finished second to Oral Roberts and Abilene Christian on both of them. And, you know, it was heart-wrenching for us when we lost them. They both could have been key players to some of our teams here in the past. But we understood the reason why they wanted to go Division I. But now that they've transferred back here and they're with us, it's just nice having them around. They know how to do everything. They know how to work out. They know how to go to weights. They know how to go to class. You know, have a good understanding for the game, and so they've just brought some more experience and just some more maturity to our team too as well. And I think they're both hungry to play, which is very good. You know, and our freshmen coming in are hungry too. You know, we have two freshmen that won a state championship in McAlester, Oklahoma last year, so they come from a winning program. And Stevie was MVP of the state tournament and first team All-Class 5A there in Oklahoma. And then, you know, Audrey Beatty coming in too from Aubrey, Texas, has given us a 6'2" kid in the middle that can really defend and block shots and play with some toughness. So I like what our newcomers have brought to the table so far.
And just one more for me, I guess, last year was kind of a down year, but, you have that streak of, being over 500, 20-something years or whatever it is. Do you kind of look at that, or do you just kind of try to do what's best for this year's team and just put that in?
Well, I like to say you just try to just focus on one team at a time, but when you're a coach here, you know what you're up against. I know what was established from Cindy Stein to Brandon to Jory, and now it's on me, and so I feel like all of us were disappointed in the year we had a year ago, and that starts with me in general, and I didn't do as good a job coaching that group as I should have done, and those guys. Those guys deserved a little bit better, and I think just going into this season, I just have a better feel for that and a better understanding for that, and I think we've been more transparent and more open with this team, and so I think that because of that, it's helped our chemistry, and I think that it's also given a little bit of hunger to our players and even myself to make sure we don't go through something like that again.
Vince. Hey, Coach, I know we talked about, it was unfamiliar territory almost a month ago, at my AA Media Day. And I know we talked and you said you added more depth to your roster. There was a lot of injuries last year. You hope to put that to the side. What have you, I know you've hit on it a little bit, what is it out of practice from, this team and that depth and that you're really loving to see that you can utilize, for this obviously upcoming game from Oklahoma, but for the whole season?
Yeah, I think first of all, I just think our returners coming back just have they have more of a hunger and a more driven than probably they were a year ago. It probably starts with Treasure, to start with. I think I know that she didn't have the year she wanted to have a year ago, and I think that it just begins with her for us. She's such a dynamic player and a key component to our team, and so the stuff that she did this offseason, the stuff she did this summer, and then this preseason, she just made more of a point to be a more vocal leader and be somebody that's just maybe even more transparent with her teammates too as well, and it's just kind of stepped out of her comfort zone a little bit as a player or as a person really to be more outgoing than maybe she typically has been, and she's always kind of been a reserved player, and now she's been a lot more outgoing, and I think that's been positive for everybody involved. And then just the experience of adding the two Division I kids coming in for our depth and the level of player that both of them are definitely helps our team a bunch. And then I would just say, for me personally, as a coach, I kind of got away from some of the things that I had done for my entire coaching career that had been successful. I kind of went a different direction last year with some stuff we wanted to try, systematically with X's and O's, and I probably shouldn't have done that. I was actually visiting with Brandon, Coach Snyder, yesterday, and he was just kind of like, man, you just got to be who you are, and I kind of wasn't who I was last year, and so just trying to get back to that mold for myself has been key, I think, too, for our team.
And lastly, Coach, I was just about to ask you that. When you have a scrimmage like that with KU, you got Oklahoma, you're playing some of the bigger dogs, if you will, and what is it about this team that maybe people should look out for when you play these bigger teams to really show maybe your strengths or weaknesses? Is there something about this team that you're learning now already that you're going to be like, hey, you got to watch out for us for this certain area, maybe offensively or defensively or both?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of players that can score. I think that's one thing. We have multiple people can. We have several Division I players too. Victoria was a Division I kid. Katie Faith, Division I kids. Mary Lake's Division I kid. Treasure easily could play Division I basketball. Elena Hartman, Division I. Sydney Tenner had Division I offers. So, we have, as far as Division I caliber talent, that kind of stuff, we have that. I think it's just a matter of putting it all together. And I think just our ability to be able to score. And I think Faith kind of alluded to it as well. Our team is fast. We do have some good speed, and we can push the basketball. So I think pace and tempo and those things will be very, very key to our success. You bet.
Wynn, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I was just curious, how do you measure success in a game like this? Obviously, you love to win every game, and I'm not too fond of Oklahoma, so I'm hoping y'all win as well. But what does success look like in a game like this for you guys?
I think as long as you go in there and your players are it's kind of a clean game. I think yesterday, you kind of saw that with K-State and Fort Hays yesterday. I think K-State might have had 10 turnovers and Fort Hays had 12. just a clean exhibition game. And so I think from our perspective, it's kind of the same. You just want your players to, just make sure you don't foul a whole bunch, put them on the free throw line, try to get a shot every time you come down the floor. You may not shoot the ball as well as you'd like, but at least you want to have an opportunity every time down. And then, on the defensive end, can you be disruptive a little bit too as well? Can you force some turnovers, get some steals, do those kinds of things also? As long as I think you're doing some of those kind of things, I think it ends up being a positive for your team.
And you mentioned that practice you guys had with KU. I thought that was really interesting what you said in your conversation with Coach Schneider. Was there other things that you took away from talking to him, or things that you think that your players took away from working out with their team?
I think for our players' perspective, we were just we got to see that Brandon and KU is building something very special there. First, I've known Brandon pretty close for almost my entire career. His dad actually coached my mom in high school, so we kind of go way back. And just being able to talk to him just about basketball in general and some of the things that they've gone through and where they're at now as a program and how they're building that thing. I'm just super happy for him and proud of him and what they have going on because they have an outstanding program right now. It's only going to get better. They're doing a lot of really good things there. And so for our players to get a chance to go play against those guys with the level of talent they have, it really exposed some things that we needed to work on. So we'll get right back at it today and try to get a few things corrected before we play OU on Thursday.
And I wanted to ask you about Kylie Shee, true freshman last year. We saw her on the court a few times. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you expect her to have a larger role or bigger impact this season?
I think Kylie has had a very good preseason so far. I think she's one person that's definitely taken a jump and improved her game. And I think there'll definitely be opportunity for her to get in there and have an impact and be somebody that can give us some really good minutes when we need it and maybe jump starts at times whenever we're maybe in a lull or something like that. She's been shooting the ball very well from the three-point line. And so, I expect her to be able to try to come in and definitely have an impact for us.
Is that something you think about? She had a very successful high school career as well in a few different sports. Is that something you look for when you're recruiting, just for, to put it simply, just winners, people who've won championships?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely want people to come from a winning program. I think when you recruit winning players, just brings a winning culture, right? And so, whether it's in softball or volleyball or basketball, whatever it may be, just being able to have those kind of people around your program make things just better for you and your culture. And we have several players like that. Lena Hartman, I think, was like Miss Kansas volleyball and basketball, from Spearville, Kansas, and, in her class when she was in high school. So we have several multi-sport athletes like that, and I think it's great. I'm a small-town guy. I think you got to play everything you can when you come from those small towns, and so it's good to see.
That's all I got. Thanks so much for your time, Coach.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Thanks so much.